NFL draft time. It is finally here. The draft is coming. It's in Pittsburgh, literally about 45 minutes from where I live currently, about 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh. And I gotta say, I'm excited for the NFL draft, but I'm gonna be previewing because we got one day until the NFL draft. I'm releasing this most likely on Wednesday night as I'm filming this. Hopefully, edit it and get it out. But I am going to be going over my top quarterbacks. I have 5 quarterbacks I'm going to be previewing. I want to do that really quickly. I wanted to do each position, but then I kind of ran out of time with just doing other shows. So I was like, all right, we got one day left. Let's throw quarterbacks out there and give them 24 hours to kind of marinate on it. So we got NFL draft quarterback previews. This draft is specifically interesting with the quarterback position because you look at the big boards for quarterbacks and you have Mendoza at 1. Everyone has Mendoza at 1. You have Simpson at 2. Everyone has Simpson at 2. Then it gets interesting because you have your Taylon Greens, your Cade Klubniks, your Drew Allers, your Carson Becks, your like Luke Altmyers. You have those guys. You have your Diego Pavias. But then that's where it gets muddy. Who is the 3 guys after that? Who's in the top 5? Well, starting off with the first one, I wanted to just touch on who the first guy is, and that's Fernando Mendoza. There's zero shocker here. There's no shocker, as I said. Mendoza's the clear favorite to go number 1. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I can tell you that for sure, to the Raiders. He is 6'5". He is 236. He is great size. That's another thing. Not only is his stat sheet phenomenal, but his size is great. His hand size is 9.5 inches, which checks the NFL threshold, in my opinion. His arm length is 31 and 7/8 inches, so pretty good there too as well. Mendoza is a really good system quarterback. Like, he was really good in Indiana's system. I think if a team like the Raiders gets him with Ashton Genty on their team, with Brock Bowers on their team, hopefully they can get some guys in the wide receiver room to help him out. But I think he could be really good at the Raiders. I really do think so. He won the Heisman at Indiana. We all know that. But he's a prototypical NFL frame. Like, when you think of prototypical NFL guys, you have multiple guys that come to mind. But when I look at it, Fernando Mendoza is probably one of the bigger quarterbacks in the draft. He's, like I said, 6'5", 236, most likely the first overall pick. When you get into the stat sheet, it's on the screen right here. He has 3,535 yards. Phenomenal. That is really good. As for touchdowns, he has 41 touchdowns, which is just, again, excellent, to only 6 turnovers. Again, phenomenal. Like, there's nothing on the stat sheet that really has me worried. 72% completion percentage. Anything above 70 is really good. In case you didn't know what kind of the baseline is, anything above 70 is phenomenal. And then his quarterback rating is 181.39, which is good for second in college football, I believe. That's what I wrote. I just said second. I don't know if that's draft or college football, but either way, he's phenomenal. Some of his weaknesses, because we went over his strengths. We got to hit some weaknesses now. I would say a lot of people question his arm strength, but here's my take on that. I don't think there's going to be a throw in the NFL, other than maybe an Aaron Rodgers type Hail Mary that he throws 80 yards, that he can't make. I don't see, because you don't throw in the NFL more than like 50 yards. Like, when you're doing a streak or a go ball or a post or a corner route, nothing is going to get above 50. Honestly, 40 yards sometimes is even a lot in some games. I would say 50 yards, the ball in the air travel time, and he can throw the ball 50 yards. So I don't think that arm strength, in my opinion, is a weakness in terms of what he can do and not do in the NFL. Mobility, people question his mobility. I don't think mobility needs to be questioned because he is not the fastest, obviously, but the guy's tough. You saw him in the national championship diving across the end zone, and the guy is just a tough quarterback. So yes, he's not the fastest, but he is really good. Like, he's a tough quarterback, and he can get a first down if you need him to. My pro comp for him is Kirk Cousins. It seems to be what everyone has as their comp for him. I don't see a better comparison than Kirk Cousins. I've seen some being thrown around with like a Matt Ryan. I've seen I've seen that, and I just feel like Kirk Cousins is the best one to me. Jared Goff, I've seen him thrown around as well. So that is Fernando Mendoza. What about Ty Simpson? What about Ty Simpson? Well, Ty Simpson is a really good quarterback. I like the way that he looked in college. Now, there were some things to pick out definitely, and there's a reason he's the number 2 quarterback and not number 1. Starting off with number 1 reason is he held the ball a little too long. I would say that's a weakness for him. Was holding the ball too long. He took, I think it says on the screen, I think I have a stat sheet on the screen that says 29 sacks taken. He had 29 sacks. He was sacked 29 times. Don't you feel like that's a lot? Well, that is really high, and it's due to him holding the ball too long. Yes, there were sacks where he just got sacked and pressured, and his offensive line couldn't stand up. But I would say that a lot of them were because of him holding the ball a little too long. That's my opinion, is he held the ball sometimes a little too long. Other than that, I don't see a ton of weaknesses. His strengths, he's a tough guy. He's really, mentally mature. He's mentally smart. I would say all those are strengths for him. He's 6'1", 211, not the biggest quarterback, but still, good enough size. You got Kyler Murray, who's like 5'10" or 5'8" in the NFL. Arm length is 30 and 7/8 inches. His hand size is 9 and 3/8. Looks pretty good. Stats: 3,567 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions or turnovers. Completion percentage is 64.5. That's getting into the mid-range, the middle of the pack range. Sacks taken, again, 29. But I would say, judging from this, this on what I have on this piece of paper, judging by what I have on this piece of paper, and everything I have about strengths and weaknesses about, Ty Simpson, I don't see so many weaknesses that outweigh his strengths, if that makes sense. So I actually see him as being a potential first-round pick. Now, did I say top 10? Did I say top 5, top 20 even? No, but I could see the Steelers taking a flyer on him. I could see the Cardinals wanting to trade back in the first round. A lot of people have them maybe mocked at, coming into the first round again towards the end. I've seen some people predict the Bills to trade out. I could even see the Patriots trading out just because of them maybe thinking, okay, well, we got our receiver and they're projected to get A.J. Brown June 1st or June 5th or whatever. So maybe the Patriots could trade out. I don't know. It's still questioned. Maybe the Seahawks because they need a running back and they don't see a running back. Just to try to trade in towards the end of the draft to get Ty Simpson on the rookie deal. Because the rookie deal is, 5 years, I'm pretty sure. So the rookie deal would benefit more if it was in the first round than the second round, if that makes any sense. So I think Ty Simpson could slide in there towards the end of the first round. That'd be my opinion. The last 5 picks-ish around there. So yeah, again, injuries were a concern in college. He got, injured the first 8 games he was healthy. The final 7 games he was injured. I don't see that being an issue in the NFL. He's not like he gets injured all the time. That was just a one-off. And as for his comparison, I have it as Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy would be a great comparison for Ty Simpson. When I look at Ty Simpson, I don't see a lot of questions. Like I said, I see a few, but I'll rehash what I said earlier. I see more strengths than weaknesses when it comes to Ty Simpson. So I think he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. You can look at this, the plays that he's making on the screen right here, on this, B-roll highlight reel. He's making plays in the NFL, or he's making plays in college football. I think he's going to make plays in the NFL. So it's safe to assume that Ty Simpson is going to be a phenomenal quarterback in the NFL. Well, I guess I shouldn't say phenomenal, but he's going to be really good in the NFL. I can't predict yet, but he's going to be really good. All right, next is number 3 is Garrett Nussmeier. We're going to hit 5 guys today. Garrett Nussmeier is an interesting one because when you look at him, he's 6'2", he's 205, he's got a 4.78 40-yard dash. He's 32.5-inch broad or vertical jump. He's 9.6-inch broad jump. Like, the guy has the stats, he has the measurements to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Judging off what he did at LSU, he spent 4 years at LSU. That's pretty good, a lot of experience. He can sling it. I would say, his big game throws. He's ranked in the top 5 in his big time throws in college football. So I think he's going to be really good when it comes to needing the big throw. But here's where some of the weaknesses play in. I think some of the weaknesses for him are sometimes playing a little bit of hero ball. That's what I see sometimes, is playing a little bit of hero ball where he's trying to do too much, where he's trying to force the ball downfield to get that big play, or he's trying to, force that ball into that tight window that really at second down we can just take our losses and move on to 3rd and 5. So I see that as becoming an issue, but that's something that's so fixable. Like, that's not a reason I wouldn't draft him, because that's easily fixable. And maybe ball security could be a weakness. Not too concerned about that. Like I said, weakness, or a concern, maybe not a weakness. Stats, passing yards, he is 4,124 passing yards. He's got a 64.6% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 9 picks. As I said, a 4.78 40-yard dash. He looks really good. He looks really good at the combine. Now, I don't really have a ton of criticism to give him. I would just say some of the things that we need to see is a little bit improvement in some of those areas that I said, in terms of not having to take over the game and not having to play hero ball and not having to do certain things that could put his team in danger of losing. Those are all fixable. Like I said, none of those are not fixable that are just going to hold him back in the NFL. So Garrett Nussmeier is a player that I think, or a quarterback that I think can be really good in the NFL in 2026 and beyond. All right, I wanted to hit Drew Allar real quick as my 4th guy. We got 2 more guys we're going to go over, Drew Allar and an unknown 5th guy. Drew Allar. He's a prototypical quarterback prospect. It looks like he was built in a lab. This guy looks solid. He just looks like a big quarterback, and he looks like a guy that could really just almost like a Josh Allen type. Like, that would be my comparison for him, would be a Josh Allen type quarterback. Now, we get to what NFL GMs are saying. I think he is a traits-based gamble for NFL GMs, because he's got the traits, like he's got the potential, but we haven't really seen it yet. We haven't seen it to its fullest of what I think it can be. So looking at Drew Allar, I see a lot of potential, but I see a lot of unknowns. More unknowns than any of the 3 guys we talked about ahead of them: Mendoza, Simpson, and Nussmeier. Height, he's 6'5". He is 235 pounds. He's 7 7/8. His hand size, which is large, that's pretty big. Arm size, 32 3/4. Wingspan is 5 or 6. I'm not reading that right. I can't read. Well, I can't even read my own handwriting, but he's got a pretty big wingspan. Like, the guy looks pretty good. Now, he didn't participate in the agility drills at the combine. He continued to recover from his ankle injury, which he suffered at the end of the season. So that's why his stats on there don't look that impressive. 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. Like, that's why those don't look as impressive. Now, this pick, whoever drafts Drew Allar, is drafting them, like I said earlier, based on potential. I think it's almost fully based on potential, because you haven't seen him hit that potential in college. So Drew Allar is a bit of a gamble for me. He didn't, 2025 season shortened by injury, like I said, so we don't have to. He only played 6 games and had 1,100 yards. He's arguably the strongest arm in the 2026 draft class. He's, I would say the biggest thing that critics point to is his big game performance, which is something that I think the whole team of Penn State, or program of Penn State, struggled with in this past year. So I don't see that as the thing that's going to hold him back, but I do see that as the thing that he needs to improve on. All right, next is Carson Beck. Carson Beck is in at quarterback. I was like, whoa, did I lose my notes on Carson Beck? They're on the back. I printed them. I printed Allar and Carson Beck notes. I normally do handwriting, as you can see, all handwriting. But I printed those, and it prints them back to back, which is weird. All right, Carson Beck. He's one of the most intriguing stories of this draft cycle. He's one of the most intriguing quarterbacks in college football this past year. What's the feel on him? What are we feeling? Well, I'm feeling like he's 6'4", 220, so he's a great size. He is great hand size, arm length, 2025 stats were something that were pretty good. I would say 3,800 yards is pretty good. 31 touchdowns, 8 turnovers. Turnovers could be maybe something to look out for. A lot of, you know, iffy throws that he made, but some really good throws as well. Notably, the end of the national championship game was a bit of a questionable throw. You think about what would have happened if he would have thrown that ball away. What would the narrative been on his career? It would have changed. It would have drastically changed what people thought about Carson Beck, because he would have been a national champion in his hometown. He would have been a national champion, and I think that's something that you need to keep an eye on. He was one bad throw away from a national champion. So when you really look at Carson Beck, he's a pretty good quarterback. He got his team to the national championship. He's a pretty good quarterback. Um, some of his strengths are his processing speed. I think he's really good at processing information. He's very smart. A lot of people say he's very smart, but he's good at processing information. The guy's been in college for 5-6 years, so he's really knows his way around the game of football. He wasn't even doing classes this past year at Miami, so he was fully into football, which is awesome. Well, maybe not awesome for the sport of college football, but awesome for him. And experience, that's definitely a strength. Weaknesses, I would say, would be one thing, and that's deep ball consistency. Sometimes he tends to overthrow the receiver. Is it the worst thing in the world? I don't think so. Can it be fixed? 100%. So those are my 5 quarterbacks. But I wanted to say, with all those quarterbacks, you see a pattern here. They all have strengths, they all have weaknesses, but a lot of the weaknesses can be fixed. Would you look at that? I think this is an underrated quarterback class. Now, do I think this is better than the 2026 quarterback or 2027 quarterback class that's coming? Absolutely not. That one has a solid 10, 12 guys that are going to be all first round pick potential. So I'm very excited for next year. We'll be doing tons of NFL draft content next year, 100%, that's for sure. But yeah, make sure that you guys don't sleep on this year's NFL draft, because there's a lot more than just quarterbacks in this draft. You got other positions that I would love to honestly touch on, but I just don't think I'm going to have time. Maybe I'll get out like a receiver or O-line, D-line video. Maybe I'll do like an O-line, D-line video, maybe receiver, running backs, but I don't know. We'll do all that tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to be tough to get all that out to you guys. But right now, I wanted to dive into my quarterback, kind of big board a little bit, previews. So yeah, those are 5 quarterbacks that I'm keeping an eye on. Can't wait to see where they go in the draft. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're going to be having updates for the NFL draft. I'm going to have full NFL draft recaps. So after the draft, I will be doing full recaps of positions, where players in certain positions went, and all that stuff. Full draft recap. I cannot wait. It's going to be exciting stuff. We'll do first round recap, second, third round recap, and then we'll do day 4 recaps. All probably in a few videos. We'll do position recaps. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like the video and set notifications, because you will be notified every time we have a live show, or every time I post a video or a clip or whatever. You'll be notified. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Wyatt Zang CFB. And yeah, we will see you guys. I'm not quite sure when the next show is going to be, but again, stay tuned on Twitter and stay tuned on the YouTube channel in the community section in the polls or posts there. I'll post when the next show is, so make sure you are subscribed. And if you set notifications, you'll get notified when the show's live anyway. So see you guys in the next time we do. Make sure you tune in to the first round of the NFL draft. It's going to be exciting stuff. We'll see you guys after the NFL draft for full draft recaps.